Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear distinguished guests and fellow Toastmasters. Today we are going to have some special meet. I'm really curious about it. Please keep yourself in silent mode unless or until you try to speak something. As Toastmasters, we do not discuss about sex, religion, and politics. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I request you all to give an energetic clap before we go ahead a wonderful meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Ashwin sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Shukrat, I really appreciate that. We're going to have a great meeting today. We have a lot of speakers lined up today, evaluators, table topics. So I hope you drank your coffee today because you're not going to sleep tonight. Oh, yeah. So do we have Mike Young in the house, or he's not here, Mary? Is that correct, Dr. Mary?
I believe Catherine will be taking over his role.
Oh, for the opening address? Is that correct? So Mike Young is
let me
area
confirm. Just give me 1 second, please.
Okay, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Catherine is there. She already joined.
Catherine, please check your WhatsApp.
He's not here.
Good morning, everybody.
Catherine, you'll be
Thank
giving
you.
the opening address. Thank you so much.
You want me to go ahead?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Catherine.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to Toastmasters for Professionals. This morning, we have such a beautiful meeting, and I want to kindly request each one of you to give a round of applause to all our club officers who have organized this meeting. Thank you very much, all our club officers, for welcoming us to the meeting. I want to congratulate each of us for being a supportive influence to our member, Vrunda Shashkumar, who represented our club the semi-finals most recently and came out second place at the humorous table topics contest. Can we give a hand clap to Vrunda? Thank you so much, Vrunda. And each of you, you have an opportunity to reach out to her and say congratulations and to thank her for representing us and coming out as winner. Thank you, Vrunda. And so I would like to encourage each of us to check our emails. There are updates coming from TMI. There are new things that we'll be studying and we'll be learning. I'd like to encourage all the club officers who have not yet done their trainings, please take advantage of this opportunity. And now I will hand back the podium to the Toastmaster of the day and welcome our Toastmaster, Ashwin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for an amazing opening remark. I'm really excited to hear your speech. You got all dressed up for this. It's exciting. Oh my God, who are you? I don't even recognize you. Who are you? It must be a virtual app. I think so. But yeah, we're going to have a great meeting today. But before we get started, everyone, we want to make sure everyone's here. That's right. Is the Toastmaster of the day here? Yes, he is. Absolutely. Speaker one, Varunda, are you here? Can you say aye? Oh, I saw you. There you go. Okay, excellent. Speaker two, Raghu, are you here? Oh, I see you too. Excellent. Pramod, you're here too? Pramod's in his new established apartment building right there. He just bought that building. And Catherine, yes, you are here, ready to go. D. Murray Shai King, are you here, my lady? Yes, she
I
is.
am here. I am
Excellent.
here.
Excellent. We have our speakers. And now do we have our evaluators? Srinivas, are you here? Yes, he is. Rosemary Sweeney, are you here? Rosemary?
Yes, she is.
Excellent.
Yes, she
Jayati
is.
Yuta, is she here? Evaluator number 3.
Yes,
I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you. Love to hear your voice. Judith, I know Judith is here. I love
I am
those.
confused. I am confused about this whole thing. Who am I evaluating? Because Catherine, I thought it was Catherine I'm evaluating. Turns out she's speaker number 2.
Oh no,
and
Judith,
I am
you
speaker
are
number 4.
evaluating Catherine. Yeah,
Well, it
you're
says
evaluating
speaker.
Catherine.
So who am I
Let me-
evaluating?
Let me rename myself speaker number 4.
Oh, okay, because I am confused because I saw you speaker number 2. I
Oh,
said,
there you
okay.
go. Yeah.
I
Don't listen to
didn't-
Catherine. Don't listen to Catherine.
Okay,
You're
I
evaluating
just,
Catherine, Judith. Thank you. It's okay. That's good. You noticed that.
well, of course I have to notice it.
It's not. See, she's on top of it. Love it. And evaluate number 5. Cassandra, are you here, my lady? Excellent. Thank you for being here. And we have, before we get started, I want to make sure that we have my team here. Timer, Guillermo, are you ready?
Hi, ready?
Excellent. And our general evaluator, Sabiria? Pardon me for butchering your name. sir. Excellent. So we're ready to go. We're going to have an exciting time today. And remember, these are advanced speakers. So God gave you 2 ears. Listen carefully. If you have to write down notes, you can see how they are. And I forgot one more thing. Our table topics master. You're not getting away with impromptu speaking. Dr. Stephen Boo has some great table topic questions. He's going to pick on everyone he has. There's nowhere to hide. He'll mail you your questions if he has to. Oh, yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's get started today. And for speaker 1, Varunda, you're evaluated as Srinivas. Srinivas, would you like to introduce your speaker today, please?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Morning. I believe my speaker is Vrunda. Hi, Vrunda. Good to see you again.
Hi.
And Vrunda is doing a speech which will be for her contest, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm not doing a contest. It's my level 3, which is
Okay.
on presentation. Yeah,
Presentation.
effective
Okay.
presentation. Yeah.
The speech title is Scripting Your Own Career Story from Dreams to Reality. Scripting Your Own Career Success Story from Dreams to Reality. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Srinivas. I wanted to request screen sharing rights if I can share my screen.
Yes, please try to share your screen.
Okay.
You should be able to.
Okay. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this right.
No worries, Varunda. Just let the timer know when you're ready, okay?
Yeah. You know, when you want to start, right? I'm searching for the button where it says play presentation. I think it's hidden behind this one.
Oh, I think it's in slideshow.
Slideshow.
Yeah.
Slideshow.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but where's the slideshow?
Oh, go to the
And
right up top.
Yeah.
Oh, in the middle, between animation and record. There it is.
Yeah, for me, there's the screen sharing thing. Okay, now I can see it. Slideshow. From beginning. There we go. All right. So hello, timer, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Pleasant evening, morning, Good afternoon to all of you. It's a great opportunity for me to share something which is coming from my heart. The reason I'm saying from my heart is because in my past life of 10 years, I've been an HR professional. And as an HR professional, what I do the most is talk to people about their careers, and I meet all kinds of people. And there are some people who are at their start of the career, who are looking for a promotion, and some people who are looking for a career change. And before I delve into the topic, I just wanted to make sure, are you guys able to see my screen well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm using a single monitor, so that's why I wanted to check out. So the title of my story today is Scripting Your Own Career Success Story, From Dreams to Reality. The reason I chose this is because of my own personal experience. My mentor told me, not once, not twice, for 3 years, she's been telling me, you need to write your own story, and only then can you achieve your dreams. And that somehow has resonated with me now, and I have started telling that story. And so the title comes right from my heart. So about me, I am an HR specialist, which means I have some titles, some fancy letters after my name, which is called the Chartered Professional of Human Resources. I'm also called a Senior Certified Professional from the Society of Human Resources Management, USA. The other one, Chartered Professional Human Resources, is from Canada. Also, I have done my human resources management from University of Winnipeg in Canada. And so there's a lot of human resources ingrained in me. In my past life, I have worked in India for 18 years in banking. I have worked in Dubai, in the UAE, again in banking. And in Canada, I've worked in financial services and insurance, as well as public service. So that's provincial government in the school system. And currently, I'm working in a nonprofit as a HR specialist. And I work with about 300 odd employees, right from the CEO, top level management to the employee level. And I'm majorly into recruitment as well as HR strategic leadership. That's one aspect of me. The other one is my passions, mental health and wellness, action for autism, kindness, diversity and inclusion. These are the topics about which I love to talk. And as you can see, this is just my LinkedIn page, which I picked up. I thought that could be an easy way of introducing myself. I have talked about career aspirants. Now, over the years, I've categorized these career aspirants into 3 categories: job seekers, advancement seekers, and impact seekers. Job seekers are usually at the top of the somewhere people who are beginning their careers. So those could be the job seekers. So their motivations are different, which could be earning the dollars. It could be getting job into that company, working at that level, and getting those kind of perks. What happens once you get to that level? Then comes advancement. The moment you get into something, the next thing is advancement. I want stretch assignments. I want more learning and development. I want some other kind of training. And then are those who are impact seekers. So impact seekers are the ones who have achieved certain level of success, and then something else sets in. They want new objectives, new change, or they want to explore a second career. So those are the impact seekers. And most of the time, my observation, when people are feeling stuck, I mentor about 10 to 15 people. Right now, I'm mentoring about 6 people who are in the early levels of their jobs. So I've classified them as job seekers out here. what happens is, what I've observed is that they are applying for all kinds of jobs, and then they're waiting for some call, for the interview call, the most awaited interview call, and then they're trying to network, and then they feel, oh, people are not helpful, or they get into something, but when they network, the only intention is, I want that job, and they network with that intention. And if you're not, a connection to that job, they stop networking with you. What happens with the advancement seekers when they want more benefits, more dollars, or more perks? They are looking at somebody else to read their mind, or they're talking or they're expressing their desire, but they're not seeing any action. So they feel stuck. And then what happens is they're either quietly quitting till they find that next opportunity, or they're disengaged at work. And with impact seekers, what happens is, if they are active into a life, a busy personal life, a busy career, they have it as their bucket list. So it could be their unfulfilled dreams changes, or it's a passion for them to give back, but it's like one fine day. I just hope everybody's with me. I'm not able to see the gallery, so I'm just hoping everybody's with me. And as I struggle again with changing my screen. Okay, great. Now, what's the answer to this? What I have seen is, and this is what I've learned from my mentor, is to visualize. What does it mean by visualizing? Once upon a time, I visualized I wanted to have that job in Google. Why did I want that job in Google? Because I saw other people are happy working in Google. Fantastic workplace. There's a great ambience, great social impact. What a company to work at. And I have quite a few family members who worked at Google and who quit Google. So I said, are you crazy? Why did you quit? And then what I learned is that there are challenges there as well, which is they could be not happy with it, or the work-life balance is too much, or again, they're seeking for something new. So what it boils down to is, what is your purpose? What is it that excites you? What kind of a role you want? So before you even start applying to all kinds of roles, think about what kind of role would excite you. Create a list of companies that you want to work with, or organizations that provide that kind of an opportunity. And then manifest. That means focus and network with those kind of companies. For example, if Google really is your company, if it is Google, Microsoft, and so on, what kind of roles are they hiring? What kind of profiles? What kind of people work there? All those things. Are you comfortable working late hours? Those questions are important to think about. Then what's next important is find a mentor that matches with your kind of aspirations. You need to share with your mentor what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve. And again, I reiterate, don't go to your mentor seeking for a job. They can help you in the process, but they can't promise you jobs. And then the last step is live your dreams. Because of the paucity of time, I'm just touching up upon these short titles, but there is something called a circle of influence. At some other time, I can share that with you, how you can build that circle of influence and strategize and get to your dreams. Lastly, I want to talk about, okay, stuck again. I'm going to continue, although my computer seems to have got stuck. The success stories. One success story that I want to share is about my own self, because I was a person who switched careers from banking to insurance to government and to non-profit today. I was a person who was really aspiring to achieve a level of success. Then I thought, oh, wealth management and banking doesn't impact the future. I want to do something wherein I'm not seeking a person's share of wallet, but giving back to the society. That's how I went into public education. And today I work with a school which specializes with children with special needs. 50% of our students are with special needs. And I work in an area with teachers, educators, and special learning specialists is what we call them, who are experts in the field of serving the children with special needs. That brings me joy. I enjoy working with these kind of people, and I have learned a lot about what are the needs for children. How can we get more funding for these kind of children, and how can we get a better voice and better education for them? And with that, I had a very special quote and a very special picture for you, but I'm just going to narrate because my computer is stuck right now, which is keep going. Every step might feel difficult, but the view is great at the top. And with that said, I'm going to stop sharing because I'm not able to see anyone. Okay. And timer, I'm sorry if I've exceeded the time. I'm really not able to see anything. Oh yeah, it's red. I'm so
No
sorry
problem.
about this, but thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Runa. Excellent speech. And no need to say sorry. No need to say sorry. We're here as Toastmasters. We want to hear what you have to say, and you just give it to us right there. There you go. And then you know what? Turn that computer off and throw it out your window right now. That's what I suggest. Just kidding.
I will send you my invoice for the new computer. Just fund it for me.
Well, I think Catherine says we have some money in the club, so it's okay.
Wow, what a gift. Thank
Excellent.
you.
You're welcome. No, just kidding. Don't record this. Well, thank you very much. All right, for our next speaker. Our next speaker is okay. He's gonna kill me again. I'm gonna get this right one day. Raghunanda Raghu. There you go. He's laughing. I know it. And his evaluator today is Rosemary Sweetie. Rosemary, would you like to introduce your speaker today, please?
You're killing her name too, also.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know. It's just I'm killing names today. I'm just gonna miss. Rosemary, hi.
Raghu. What can I say about Raghu? Raghu is an international Toastmaster Plus who can be found all around the world at any time of the day. And this evening, he's such a different Toastmaster. He's going to present to us a humorous speech like he's in a contest. So listen well and let us make Toastmaster Raghu feel welcome.
Before I start, Toastmaster of the Day, can you see me and hear me clearly? I don't want to be spotlighted. I want to remain in gallery mode, if that is okay. I'm good. Can you hear me? You didn't? I'll be done.
Yes, we hear you.
Can you invite me with my title and name?
What is the title of your speech? I do not have it.
It is What's in a Name. Raghu's speech title is What's in a Name. Whenever you're ready.
So you have to say it like the contest. What's in a name? Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, what's in a name?
There you go.
Shakespeare said, what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Yes, he would say that his name is William Shakespeare and my name is Sarikonda Raghunatha Raju. And today, I'm going to narrate the story of me and my complex name. Toastmaster update, fellow Toastmaster and guests, and people with complex and confusing names. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I was born in the year and just after my birth, my grandfather decided to name me Raghu Nada. Just after a temple that he visited in northern part of India. Well, my dad didn't want to be left behind. Just before my high school, he misspelled my name in the records and he wanted me to go. He's replaced D by D. And now, from being Raghunatha, I am Raghunatha. Oh God, I told him my feedback in CRC method saying, why I don't want it. Papa, it's a long name, it's confusing. People may misspell it several times. But he had his own 7-minute speaker's rebuttal. And with 1 minute extra body language, which was violent and included slippers. And I gave him. Well, first day at my high school, a very beautiful North Indian girl approached me and asked. I told her, I told her at least 4 more times. And on 5th time, out of all that name, only part she got was Fonda, which she said Kunda, actually means a cover boulder. Well, guess what? Instead of the parents of this generation, parents of 19s, used to plan everything for 5 years. And my mom was no exception. She planned for everything, including my school uniform. In fact, my school uniform short used to look more like a half miniskirt, just like the royal backpack. Now I was known by 2 hashtags in my school. Hash Kunda, hash Munda the boy with half miniskirt. Hash Kunda, hash Munda the boy with half miniskirt. My father got transferred to Hyderabad, city in southern India. And I thought that was the end of all my problems. But just like Vetal followed Vikram, my name equity followed me. And guess what? I got my graduation certificate in hand. And instead of Raghunatha, it was Raghunanda. Oh Lord, why me? Why me? Instead of that extra hand, can't you give me extra credits? The saga continues. A check that I cannot encash, a certificate that I cannot display because of the name mismatch. The pain increased when I joined Toastmasters. I was giving my L1 P2 speech, and the Toastmaster invited everybody. Raghu, Nandan, Raju, I was so frustrated. I used all my vocabulary and body language. And guess what? I was the best speaker after that. Well, after that, I forgot the count of speeches I gave across the world. And every time I wait for the Toastmaster to give a new version of my name. Raghu Nanada Raju, Raghu Nandan Rajan, Raghu Rajan. Somebody even said Dasratha Rajan. Well, I said, forget it. Start saying Raghu, a 5-letter simple word, Raghu. But somebody said Rahu. Somebody even said Rahu, the demon in Indian mythology. Finally, I said, forget it. I stopped correcting names and agreed with William Shakespeare. But when I gave a speech in Kenya, a Toastmaster took at least 10 minutes to record my name before the meeting so that he can spell it correctly. That made me feel so good. My dear friends, name is not just something that you slap on somebody's face. It comes with story. It comes with personal touch and identity of a person. It comes with expectation and sometimes a touch of destiny. Can't we take that extra minute necessary to know the name exactly and pronounce it properly? A rose with any other name would smell as sweet, but among all those beautiful and fragrant flowers, rose has its own identity, its own fragrance. Can't we respect it by just calling it as a rose? Stop saying, what's your name? And start saying, what's your name? Toastmaster of the day, what's your name?
Raghu. No, it's Ashwin. Thank you so much. Put your hands together. I'm gonna stick with Raghu. Thank you much for that excellent speech. And timer, could I have 1 minute of silence? Folks, members and guests, could you give comment recommendations to Raghu privately in the chat? We'll time it for 1 minute so that way you could give him some good comments in there. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Timer. And members and guests, if you could also give Varunda some comments and recommendations, that'll be great too. I'm sure she'll like that too. So let's move on today. Our next speaker is Pramod, and his evaluator is Jayati. Are you here? Welcome. Thank you so much. Would you like to introduce your speaker today?
Sure. First of all, can I request the audience if I'm audible?
Yes.
You're audible.
Thank you so much. DTM Pramod. He is attempting project of understanding emotional intelligence. The purpose of his speech are: the project is for the member to cultivate an understanding of how his or her emotions impact the relationships. It is also designed to help the mentor identify how others' emotions impact his or her emotional state. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience, journaling emotions, of being aware of emotions when interacting with others. Ooh, what to do. I wish the speaker all the best, and over to you. Do I have to announce the speech title?
Oh no, yes, if you can, that'll be great.
Oh, sure. Just DTM promotes. It's not about the mind, it's about the heart. It's not about the mind, it's about the heart. DTM promote.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaydeep, for that wonderful introduction and details about the speech. We all live in a world where we are confused about our own emotions. Sometimes understanding emotions help. Today, I'm going to talk about one particular emotion which can create long-lasting impact on others, which is empathy. I'm sure that you all know what is empathy. I'm not going to describe what is empathy. But unfortunately, in my profession, many people don't know what is empathy. And I'm a banker. A banker always understands one thing, that is money. If you are rich, if you are capable, if you don't need money, I am interested in giving you more money. And if you need money, and if you are struggling, and you are in a stressful situation, I am a little bit reluctant. So I'm sure that we have a global audience, and people will agree with me because it's universal. Let me narrate a story. Way back in 2017, I was heading a large cooperative branch in Vadodara, which is a place in India and Gujarat. I had a customer who was running a printing press, a traditional printing press for the last 45 years. It was started by his grandfather, then his father, then he was doing. Everything was doing really good. But in 2017, what happened is the demand for printing material came down. And he was struggling a little bit. And he approached me with a request. He said, I want to modernize the entire thing because now I am having a traditional printing setup, but I want to have a modernized, mechanized setup, completely automation. There are good machines available in Germany, Heidelberg, so many things are there, machines are there. If I can install all those things, then I would be able to do my business in a better way. I found this idea sensible because he was capable, windage was there, experience was there, connections was there, everything was there. And I funded him a good amount to import machines from Germany and change the complete machinery, the old and the archaic machinery, and start something new. And he started everything. The process lasted for 2 years, the installation of machinery, modernization and everything. By the time I got transferred to a different place. In 2020, when his business started picking up, COVID happened. It was a big amount, a big liability. His existing business almost got stopped. His new business didn't pick up. He was there left with a pile of machinery, installed properly, but not working because of lack of order from clients. In 2021, the account was about to turn NPA, that is net non-performing asset. Once an account turns NPA, the next procedure is for the bank to confiscate the property and auction it. If you don't know, that's the procedure. By that time, I got one more promotion and I was posted in a different place. And this gentleman called me at one night. He said, I'm struggling and I'm going to lose everything that I had created. My parents had created in the last 50 years. Could you help me? It is not appropriate to interfere in credit matters when you are not directly in charge of the same thing. The question was, should I speak to the processing officer or not? If you ask me logically and ethically, it's not correct because I am heading a different vertical and this person was in a different place at that time. But I thought about 2 days. I did some cross inquiries. Then I found that it is a genuine issue. I mustered all the courage. Next day, I spoke to the head of credit. I told him, see, every banking decisions cannot be taken only on numbers. There are two elements to every decision. First is a number and second is a story. you should also understand the story before jumping into a conclusion based on number. The young man at the credit hub agreed. And he said, I'll make a discussion with the client and we'll get back to you. I eagerly waited for 2-3 days. And after that, I got a call from this man. He said, I convinced him to change his business slightly, some modification. With that modification, he can make it better. And it was in 2021. So this credit officer convinced the person to get some more collateral, and he offered him something else so that he changed his business from printing press to manufacturing of corrugated boxes. So not much investment was needed there. And this gentleman started his new business along with the old business. It was something like, it was almost, because his clients were all using the same product. Then after that, I was not aware about what happened to the gentleman, whether his business picked up well or not. Yesterday, I'm talking about yesterday, I visited Vadodara again. Now I am posted back here in this place. And I had some time, so I thought of visiting him. And I went there. He was quite surprised to see me. And he told me that his company turned profit this year in 2023 March. They posted a profit of around 6 crores, 600 lakhs. I was so happy. And he said it is only because of the decision of the credit officer to have a discussion with him, listen to his story, and understand his situation that completely changed his life. Life will give you a lot of opportunities to understand the problem of others. It is upon you to decide whether you should spend some time on others and express your emotions, understand their emotions. Empathy definitely changes the life of others. And it gives a great lesson to the whole world that there are beautiful decisions that you can take with your emotions, understanding the emotions of others. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, bro. You're absolutely right. Empathy is so, I mean, we miss it every day. We don't use it or look at it. It's always about numbers. And then we go back and look at the story, you know, there's more meaning. I think you could help a lot of people with empathy. So thank you so much for that great story. Timer, could we have 1 minute of silence, please? Could you give your comments and recommendations to Pramod in the chat? Thank you, Timer. So our next speaker needs no introduction, but I will have the evaluator today, Judith, introduce her. Judith, would you like to introduce our next speaker, number 4, Catherine?
I don't have much introduction about her, but her speech is leading in your volunteer organization. I think this is dynamic leadership level 5. And the purpose of this project is for the member to apply the skills. Maybe if I can see here, actually. the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer organization. A purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect, his or her experience serving as a leader in a volunteer organization. And the title is, I did change the titles a little bit, actually. So, because it makes a little bit more sense, leading leaders is no small feat. That's the title, I think. That's maybe a better one. Please welcome Catherine.
Have you been found in a room with more experienced, older, better, opinionated, smarter, strong-headed, perhaps excuse-bound, and just more than you people in a room? Toastmasters and guests, leading leaders is no small feat. We all find ourselves in such situations, don't we? At the end of my delivery, I plan to have this small, sweet conversation with you. And it really means I will be sharing what leading leaders really, really, really means for us. I will also be sharing the environmental perspectives, how you find yourself in such a room, what it feels like, and how you should be taking in the lessons. But at the end, if there's anything you will remember, it is how you recognize that this is for you and what you can use. Toastmasters and guests, at the age of 23, I found myself in a room with 10 board members, older than me, smarter than me, more experienced than I was. And for some reason, I took to myself a project. I told myself, if I'm going to survive in this boardroom, I'm going to do much more work. I'm going to do more research. I will come to the room with the big words. It worked, but for preferably 2 years. And before I knew it, our term was over. But before our term was over, we were invited to an evaluation, a stakeholders evaluation. And for some reason, because of the path or because of the trail, it was agreed that for the next chapters of board events, they will have at least a young girl on the board every time a new board exists. I also found myself in another room where I was leading leaders. Only this time, it was a corporate bank department. Relationship managers, and I was 22 years old again. In the face of these managers, we were invited to a networking event. It was at the Sheraton Hotel. At the time, Sheraton was the biggest hotel. And we had to interface with all these big moguls in town, investment bankers and detailed chartered accountants. And the lingo was huge for me to even think I was going to be dressed up and receiving the guests. I found myself again in the face of very experienced leaders. Not only did that give me an opportunity to recognize that for some reason, I always find myself in the face of leading leaders. But one more place that I found myself, I walked straight from a very long period of being an expatriate spouse, or what you call a work-at-home mother, into a CEO role, dynamic, demanding. And in that meeting, when I was being hired, I was asked, what will you bring to the table? At the end of my presentation, I simply told them, if you can trust me with the environment that I had, you will trust me at the end of my 5-year term and tell me if I did not perform. Believe you me, when this evening I was looking at my awards that I was given, I nodded my head and I said, girl, you can survive in any environment. Toastmasters and guests, can you say that about yourself? Would you? I found myself unanimously voted at a Rotary Club as the project's director. After having attended this club and made a few presentations, they discovered that they did not have enough women in their club. One of the senior members, in fact, he was referred to as the past governance director of the club. He called me up and he said, I want to mentor you and I'm going to push you to the deep end. This morning, you will be voted the project's director. My heart skipped a little bit. I agreed to the positions. I said, yes, I will do it. This meant that I was going to run multiple projects. Can I just explain some of these projects to you? One was a multi-stakeholder, internationally granted project that was to build a hospital. Unfortunately, this project aborted. The second was completing multiple WASH projects in 4 schools. These were very successful. The third was running economic empowerment projects to HIV-affected fishing communities. It was successful. And the third, which I enjoyed the most, was running 3 basic education and health camps in a community that I belong to. Over 1,000 people showed up that morning, and I watched these distinguished men roll their sleeves, take to the pharmacy. They created pharmaceutical circles in shelters. The others were working as dentists. These are professionals. They paid money to put fuel in their vehicles. They drove, and some of them hired a bus. What did I learn from them? I learned about humility. I learned about being stern. I learned about not taking myself so seriously and enjoying their humor. I learned to listen and to be open. I learned to be emboldened. What will you take from this Toastmasters? Are you going to be these people who will stretch yourself? To us, our leadership is our code of honor. Let your code rule. It does not matter whether you're leading children who are strong. You will recognize that leading leaders is not a small feat. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Catherine. You're right, Catherine. Jumping in is the best way. And I started that way in Toastmasters too. Just jumped right in and you don't know what you're capable of. You're exactly right. And look at you already. I love it. You should be leading a country, not a club. Just kidding. Mr. Timer, could I have 1 minute of time, please, for our guests and members to give some comments and recommendations for Catherine? Please text, not text her, but write the information down in the chat. That'll be great. Thank you. Now, as speakers, we do like to improve. I know we have advanced speakers here, but they would like to improve and get better. So if you could give some great recommendations, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Timer. 1 minute is up. And for our final speaker today, Dee Marie Shy King. Believe me, she's not shy. Great speaker, and her evaluator is Cassandra. Cassandra, would you like to introduce your speaker today, please?
It would be my honor. Miss Dorothy Shy King speech comes from understanding your leadership style. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech. The title of Dorothy King's speech is It Starts at the Club Level. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify her leadership style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of her primary leadership style. Back to you. Dorothy?
Have you ever asked yourself, am I in the right place? Did I do the right thing to become a member of Toastmasters? Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guest, if any of you have had that question who are members of Toastmasters, you are in the right place tonight. I'm trying to identify my leadership style. At least that's what my pathway or my path tells me I should do. I think deep down inside of all of us, we already know what our leadership style is. I've been committed to and passionate about people my entire life. I believe in leading by example. And guess what? That is the kind of leadership that is talked about at Toastmasters. It's called a servant leadership style. And at Toastmasters, we know that we're all servant leaders. And what that simply means that anybody that will dive into all the things that we do at Toastmasters as a nonprofit, non-paying entity, we are servant leaders. I can imagine at this point, Ralph Smedley would never believe his eyes if he saw and knew that there were over 300,000 members in Toastmasters worldwide. When he founded Toastmasters way back in 1924, do you think he, as a leader, had the idea that we would be where we are today? Such an enormous entity of networking, social networking, meeting people, exchanging ideas, growth, communication, and leadership. But as a servant leader, I have been put to the test. And I would like to think that I stood the test. I worked for 25 plus years as a mental health professional. I would have people tell me, oh my God, how do you do that? But when you are serving in the purpose for which you feel that you were created, it's a labor of love. I cared about my patients. I was able to write 2 one-act plays and have mental health patients act out the roles to precision that told me that I was where I was supposed to be. I served as a legislative lobbyist and managed a $5 million budget for 5 years as chairperson of the advisory council in the state of Georgia for mental health and mental retardation. A servant leader. I had a 29 county catchment area of people who came and met every month so that we could plan our agenda when we would go to the state legislative dinner and lobby the legislators for the funding for our programs, learning things that I never thought I would learn. Being a servant leader and not even knowing it because I enjoyed everything that I did. And then when COVID struck and I no longer wanted to be a nurse, I decided to try Toastmasters. Oh my God. I decided to try Toastmasters. And what has that taught me? That if you are passionate, if you are authentic, if you're an ethical leader, if you're someone who is trustworthy, if you're someone who is committed, Toastmasters is where you should be. So don't ever think, am I in the right place? Of course you are. Check your leadership style out. Decide what it is that you want to do. Lead by example, because the core principles of Toastmasters is integrity. You have to have integrity as an individual. And I like to think of integrity as that word character, what you do when nobody's watching. You must have integrity for yourself. Then respect. You must respect your fellow Toastmasters and the people that you would want to bring into Toastmasters. Respect those individuals, because there again, we're leading by doing. Then we have service. I've already explained to you what that entails, but excellence. Excellence means that you're going to give it everything that you've got. You're going to be the best that you can be. And when you are at your best, you motivate other people to do the same. I can assure you of that, because it's like a smile. It's contagious. It catches on. When they see that you are giving it your all, they want to do the same. Toastmasters is the prime place for demonstrating, for enhancing, and developing whatever leadership style you may have. Whatever your style is, this is the place for you to hone that skill and turn it into something that you never thought it could be. I can stand here with assurance, with authenticity, with transparency, and with honesty when I say that Toastmasters has transformed and changed the trajectory of my entire life. I never thought I could host and present an international summit on domestic violence, but Toastmasters and Pathways told me that I could. And I was so passionate about Toastmasters that I thought, oh my goodness, I will try it. And it worked. An international summit where I received a letter from the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee. We'd never had a summit on domestic violence in Nashville. It was the first one. The mayor gave us a letter welcoming us to the city. I didn't see that coming, but because of my passion, commitment, and the goals that I set for myself, Toastmasters pushed me over. I'm asking you tonight, look inside yourself, find out what your leadership style is. Think about the goals that you have. Is there a path that you want to follow? Do you have a platform that you want to speak out for? Toastmasters gives us the voice. Let's use our voices to make a difference. So I challenge you, discover what your leadership style is. And once you know what it is, step into it. Do what you know you have the ability to do. And let's go to the next level. Madam Toastmaster.
Mr. Toastmaster to you. No.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Well, sign me up there. I think you should be the spokesperson for Toastmasters. What are you doing back there? I think we should send an email. I'm going to clip this up and send it to the headquarters for you to thank you so much for that great speech.
So Asheville, let me just say this. I called you Madam Toastmaster because I was so glad to be through, okay? It was time to just stop.
No worries. I got confused before. Don't worry. Just kidding. Mr. Timer, could we have 1 minute, please, to give our guests and members and guests who want to be members, just subliminal right there, to give some comment to Dee Marie in the chat.
See, tit for tat. You killed my name and then she killed your sex.
Hey, karma.
Wonderful speech, Dee Marie, talking about leadership style in such a good manner.
Well, that looks like it's 1 minute of time. And I know everyone's eager to speak. Well, you will get a chance because we have no other than Dr. Stephen Bowie at our table topics here. So get ready, folks. stretch your necks, get your vocal cords out. He's ready to rock and roll. He's been ready since day one. Dr. Stephen Bowie, take it away. Pepper us with questions.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, Ashvin. I'm very excited to introduce our next segment, which is our table topic. And our main objective is to challenge ourselves, the members, to develop their impromptu communication skills to develop effective thinking on their feet. And by answering these questions that I have for you guys. And this will we not only giving our members, also our guests, the opportunity to speak at our table topic session. And this table topic is designed to develop 4 essential communication skills. First one is listening. Second is thinking. Third is organizing. And finally, your speaking skill. So today, as your table topic pastor, I'll be asking related to our theme, which is turning dreams into reality. This is challenging us to step into our own reality to be successful. You have at least 1 minute and to give a table topic presentation, and no more than 2 minutes. And the timer will give you the green signal after 1 minute, and yellow signal at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the red signal at 2 minutes. Okay, so I would like to call for any volunteer. Anybody would like to volunteer, raise your hand. If not, I will voluntold you guys.
Oh, well, we
So
have a
any
lucky volunteer, Dr. Bowie. We have a lucky volunteer. Kanika?
Okay. All right. So this is your question. First question. Do what you love and love what you do. What does it mean to you? Do what you love and love what you do. What does it mean to you?
Am I loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. So thanks a lot, Stephen. So my impromptu topic is do what you love what you do. Am I right? Okay. So the most important thing is, in order to achieve the goal for your near future and for the better upliftment of yours, you need to be professional, you need to be passionate about what you love. You need to be specific, particular, and you need to persuade for that. You need to be confident enough. It's not about you are doing the thing in which you are not at all happy to do, not joyous to do, not feeling confident enough. You are just doing it in a peer pressure, whatever it is, whatever may be the reason. But for your self happiness, for your self joyous, for your own enjoyment, you need to do what you love. It's like, it doesn't matter only for the success, but for your own happiness. Because at last, happiness only matters. Happiness only matters, I repeat. The thing is, if I do something which is not at all professional for me, but I'm doing it in kind of my anyone's suggestion, and I'm not interested in it, not at all, but somewhere I'm doing it. So the time may come that you become inconfident in your present aspects too. So at last but not the least, I want to say that you need to do what you love, and you need to love in whatever field you are doing it. Thanks a lot. Over to you, TTM.
Thank you, Kanika. Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on do what you love and love what you do. I have another question on your own thoughts. And anybody would like to raise their hand? I see Lydia. Welcome, Lydia. And if you can turn on your camera, that would be excellent. And if you're not able to, that's okay too. So when you test your voice, I want to hear that. Can you test?
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay, Lydia King. Okay.
Hi.
All right. All right. Here's the question for you.
Okay.
What does it mean to you getting comfortable being uncomfortable? What does it mean to you by getting comfortable being uncomfortable? Lydia King.
Toastmasters to me is a perfect example of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm here because trying to be comfortable being uncomfortable is a story of a lot of my life. I think it was last week we had one of the table topics was about what is your brand of insecurity or your brand of inadequacy in your life. And what really resonated with me, or what I thought about when that topic came up, was that being insecure and being uncomfortable is something that I struggle with every day, having social anxiety and trying to speak loud and enunciate and speak clearly has always been really difficult for me. And so I am recently really trying to push myself to do a lot of different things that are uncomfortable. I started taking singing lessons recently with an opera singer to try to work on my enunciation and my voice. So I think it's really important in life to realize what makes you uncomfortable and understand why. Maybe it's something from your childhood or something from your past that causes that. And it's really rewarding to push yourself and get past those things that make you uncomfortable and learn about a different side of yourself and realize that, we all have different things that make us uncomfortable, but building that confidence and being able to do things that make you uncomfortable, pushing past that is a really important aspect of maturity and growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lydia, for your words of wisdom. And you're setting an example by pushing yourself to that uncomfortable zone and being comfortable with it, especially with trying the singing lessons and speaking in front of other people at Toastmasters. So very inspiring. I appreciate your answer. Anybody else would like to volunteer for another question?
Oh,
all right,
we have
two.
some volunteers here. Yes, we have Jayati and Fatina.
All right, let's go with Jayati. Let's unmute yourself and test your mic before I ask your question. And if you can tell, oh, wonderful, excellent. Okay. So the question I have for you is, what is the life lesson that is essential to your success? So what is the life lesson that is essential to your success, Jayati?
I didn't know anything about Toastmasters. So when my friend spoke about, hey, do you want to join Toastmasters? I said, what? You want me to make toasts? You want me to, at this age, you want me to learn how to make toasts? Come on, speak something else. She says, no, Jayati, this is a different world. This is something where you could improve on your own self, on your own feelings, on your own understanding of yourself. I took her advice. She eventually became my mentor. And what I discovered in Toastmasters is unbelievable. First of all, when I joined Toastmasters, I used to think, what is this R counter? What is this grammarian? Why do we need a gender evaluator? I mean, come on, I know what I'm speaking. But no. Life lessons which I learned in Toastmasters is learning to empathize when a speaker doesn't turn up. Learning to be patient when somebody's making mistakes. Learning to love the person on the other side, even if you don't meet that person physically. I used to think, oh my God, this person is creating a sin because he hasn't come prepared. But when I placed myself on the other side of the camera and spoke to the audience, I realized what it takes to prepare for a particular session, what it takes to stand there and face the audience in front of you. The life lessons I learned, my friends, from Toastmasters is understanding, love, empathize, and show some patience, show some love for the people who are listening to you. My friends, when we join Toastmasters, remember, it is not just public speaking. It is a place where you improve yourself and your character. Don't you think so, Toastmasters? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Yayati, for very good advice and for the beautiful smile. It all makes us happy, especially this late of the hour for me. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, but you light my day up. All right, so we have two more volunteers. So Fatima, if you want to test your mic, I do have a question for you.
Hello, am I audible?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Fatima, what advice you would give to your younger self? What advice you would give to your younger self, Fatima?
Good morning, everyone. Younger self. The moment we think about our younger self, we feel that we have lived so much. And the moment I would get a chance to give any advice to my younger self, I will definitely say that wear some awesome clothes. Do whatever you want to feel good with yourself. Go and give a good haircut. Go and party with your friends. And remember one thing: use your skill wisely. Uplift yourself. Nobody will ever come to uplift your confidence. You only have to build. So don't ever wait for anyone. You are the creator of your own life. And because I am giving this advice to my younger self, because I have gone through that past of my life where nobody, even nobody, was there to give a single piece of comment on my work. Nobody ever was there to boost me or to give a kick to me, or nobody was there to realize that I am just alone. So this is the only advice I will give to myself, younger one, that live your life fullest. Don't care for anyone. Nobody is going to see you. Nobody is there to see what is going on in your life. So this is the lesson I will say, and that is why I always tell my children that don't be in hurry to be young. Just enjoy your life. And I always tell my teenager daughter also that, oh, you have become so young. If you go younger, then I will feel that I am older one. So this is the advice I will really give to my younger one, that live your life fullest. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster of the TTM.
Thank you
Table Topic
so much,
Master.
Fatima. And thank you for giving us very uplifting advice to your younger self, but these apply to all of us. So we really appreciate your advice. And our guest speaker, give a hand to our guest volunteer, Judith.
I may regret this, but I'll try.
Oh, this is going to be fun for you. Okay. All right. So Judith, what small daily habit that has a big impact on your life? So Judith, what daily small habit that has a big impact on your life?
Well, Mr. Table Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters, small habits that impacts my life. Well, the only small habits that has a major impact on my life is I have a cat. And it seems that every single minute I have to attend to this cat. And that is small things, lots of small things, because my cat thinks that my whole entire life is about her. So when I get up, she immediately gets up, follows me everywhere, and hopefully she hopes that I will present her some kind of food that she likes. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. Then she sleeps all day. So when I come back or do things, she wakes up, immediately runs over, looks at me, she's a very funny little animal, and sits in front of me and stares like, don't you know what it is I want? And I look at her, I said, no, and I don't really care. I have other things to do. We have a very interesting communication, my cat and I. And these are small things, sometimes not so small things, but they are very regular small things. And does it have a major impact on my life? Well, it's hard to know, but it's certainly constant. And that's all I can say. And thank you for your question.
All right, wonderful applause for our guest Judith. You did very, very well. Thank you for sharing the small daily habit. And the cat is a wonderful way. I guess the cat is appreciating you too, that the habit of taking care of the cat. So thank you very much for sharing. And I just want to check with our table, our Toastmasters today to see if we have time for one more question.
Actually, for the interest of time, Mr. Table Topics Master, we'll probably be moving on. But thank you for your thought-provoking questions, and thank you, participants, for sharing your ideas. Thank you so much. All right, so we will begin our next, our evaluator for our next session. I would like to introduce our first evaluator, Srinivas. Srinivas is a John Maxwell certified speaker, trainer, a coach, particularly in leadership culture and a teamwork. He is also a DISC trainer and certified virtual presenter. He joined Toastmasters in 2015 and is a district table topics champion for 2019. He has served in various officer roles from club to district and is a past District 102 director.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you still remember our first speaker, Vrunda, on her speech on presentation and using the presentation software, where she spoke about her experience. She spoke about how long she's been with HR and as a HR specialist, and what are her feedback or what are ideas to people who want to advance their career. But this particular project talks about presentation software. And she used the presentation software, which is PowerPoint slides. So my entire feedback, 80 to 90%, will be based on the project objective, which is our efficiency or efficient way of using the presentation software. So Vrinda, ready? Okay, starting with first. All right, so I'm going to highlight things which I felt could have been improved, and then we'll move to the part which you did well. Challenges to share screen. Right in the beginning, I believe you had some challenges to share the screen, and you managed to do that. Okay. Along the way, after a minute or so, you just check with the audience if they can see your screen. And then you mentioned that you have a single monitor. This is my feedback here, right? We all have challenges to share the screen, especially when you are online, you are using Zoom, Teams, Google Chat, and different other things and all. It's slightly different in all of these platforms. So one of the best way is to know which platform, when you share your screen, what happens. So how do I know that? Because we practice with one another. That's the only way for you to test it out. So one of the best ways, what I suggest people, even who are used to it, is that before the meeting, test it out. Why? Because before the meeting, you're able to share your screen and you're able to know what you have to click where. Test it out, and then you know what you see and what you don't see. Because here and there, you mentioned that you're not able to see people in the gallery, which is possible. As long as you share the screen, click on the view, and you select gallery, yes, by default, you will see yourself, but you have to do that part there. Okay, second element there, you don't have to share the screen throughout the entire duration. You can stop sharing, talk to the audience, ask some questions, get some feedback, share the screen back again. That is another way where you can engage with the audience, because honestly, nobody wants to see the entire screen for the entire duration. They would like to see the speaker as well. So here and there, you can just stop sharing the screen and ask people for their feedback or connect with them. Third thing, you apologize few times. This is what I would say. Unless something really, really happened and you have no idea, don't keep apologizing it. Why? Why? Because it tells people that you were not prepared as a speaker. And when you apologize again and again, though it may appear as a very good gesture, but as a speaker, we don't recommend people to keep apologizing throughout the entire time. Right? We don't do that. So that is one thing I would. Now, the final thing which I want to bring up on your slides, because of PowerPoint, I felt that the slide which says that feeling stuck, the alignment of the words were not there. And I personally believe that a slide should not have more than 2 sentences, which means that that particular slide could have been divided into 3 different slides with 3 different colors and 3 different boxes and all, shows difference and all these things. So overall, this is what my solution for the entire thing would be. Practice with people, 1 or 2 people, get a friend, come early to the meeting, play around with it, and know on different platforms how you appear, how other person appears. That helps you to connect. Use chat box to connect. Feel free to shut off the screen if it's needed and start it back again when it's needed. So when you do more often, you will be a great presenter. Back to you, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Srinivas, for the excellent evaluation. I hope, Varunda, you got some good recommendations, and I can't wait to see your next speech again. All right, for our next evaluator, Rosemary.
Hi.
Hi. Rosemary, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, I enjoyed your humorous contest speech this evening. I found your content was in order, and it was very good. Your speech development was amazing. There was a clear opening, a body, and a conclusion with a personal story as supporting material. I heard an effective speech, and I could see your gestures, and I could see the members of the audience smiling and enjoying your speech. I got the gist that I got the gist that I should ensure I can pronounce your name, and it is very important to you. This is of interest to me so that I can ensure that I pronounce other people's name, because it might just be as important to them when I pronounce their names properly. I knew it was important to you because at one point when you said that people finally pronounce it properly, your hand went close to your heart. And that part of our body means that we really love that thing. The idea of the speech was valuable because one never knows when they offend, someone is offended by mispronouncing their name. The audience response was excellent. I could see them smiling and nodding. I heard a great delivery. I saw a very confident speaker with great vocal variety and arm gestures. Your movements, I also saw movements when you were changing your voice from a female voice to a gentleman's voice. You were moving in your speaking area. I heard excellent language usage. The purpose of the speech was clear to me. When you completed, I realized that this was a persuasive speech because there was a call to action. And I knew your speech was going to end. When you changed your quote from saying, we should not ask what's in a name, but we should ask what is your name. Your presentation I listened to you had very good grammar. However, sometimes I could not hear what you were saying clearly. So you must be mindful when you're moving away from your mic. Also, I would have loved to hear you speak a little slower, because you tend to speak very quickly at times. Overall, I enjoyed your presentation and could vividly imagine that little Ragu in that long shirt looking like a dress. You had great vocal variety and humor was inserted in your speech. I loved your call to action, and I would like to be there when you are really presenting that humorous speech. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for your evaluation, Rosemary. Yeah, I think I'm going to use an AI to say Ragu's name. So next time I'm going to have a different voice. All right, for our next evaluator. Who is this? Guess who? It's Jayati. Where are you, my lady? There you are. This is Toastmasters. I can't see you. There you go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Proceed.
Should I begin?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Whenever
right.
you're ready.
All
Whenever
right.
you're ready.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I begin my evaluation of the wonderful speaker called DTM Pramod. A great speaker takes us on a journey, and today, DTM Pramod, you took me on that journey of self-discovery. In your speech, there were three very beautiful, shining points. Let me point them out to you. The first one is your personal story. When you shared your personal story with us, you gave us, the audience, a glimpse of what you are and what you are not, what you like and what you don't like, and that absolutely connected with all of us. The second point, which I would like to point out, was you included humor. You said, I'm a banker. You expect empathy from me? Love that humor. Next part is your hand gestures, the way you put up your hands when you included the dialogue about you being a banker. Now, DTM Pramod, in this speech of yours, to amplify the engagement impact of your speech, I have three suggestions. The first one is a better virtual setup. DTM Pramod, I understand a better virtual setup is from the top of your head to below the chest. So if you could, picture yourself or set up your camera in that particular way, I think we in the audience can identify with your movements, your gestures, your posture, and the way you emote yourself on screen. That means a better zone of influence to the audience. That was my first one. The second one is when you talked about these people, they had approached you about their business, the father and the son duo. If you could give names to the character, we could identify and connect, because it's very confusing when you're talking about somebody and you don't have names. We are kind of lost. Okay, who's he talking about? The father or the son? All right. The third point is show us your journal. One of the objectives in your speech clearly states that you share some aspects or experience of journaling your emotions. What you needed to do was just hold up some paper like this. Here, this is my journal. This is how I have recorded it. That's it. That would have done the job. DTM Pramod, you are a great speaker with your lovely points of a personal story, including humor and great hand gestures. I believe that if you have a better virtual setup, include names in your characters and show us the journal, I think you are a good speaker. You will become an excellent one. All the best to you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Oh, thank you so much. That's it's like I thought I was speaking. What a great evaluation. Thank you so much. And for our next evaluator, Judith, for our
Thank
speaker
you.
number 4.
I hope I can do this. I see my computer is having some sort of issues here. So
You could do it, Judith. You got it.
okay, I hope so. Okay, so here we go. Leading leaders is no small feat. Says Catherine. It's a great speech. I really enjoyed this. I certainly can relate to it. I love the idea that you ask question how you felt in when you were in room in more experienced, older, opinionated, all these people. We have been there, at least I have been there myself. And it's always a good idea to, and I like the whole thing. I like when you were age 25, you were on certain boardroom and then corporate bank we had, and then it goes on for getting all these awards. Now I am going to evaluate your speech, content, visual, and vocal. So talking about a content. So what I thought it was all very interesting. I just would have liked to change the structure a little bit to say, how did I get there? I have all these awards in my wall. It would have been nice if you have a little bit further away so we can actually see you. And these are the awards that I received. And and let me just give you a little journey. I was 25, I was 22. And I ended up, I have no idea. It would have been a good thing to say, what board were you on? What was the organization? How did you get there? What was your qualification at 22 or 25 that somebody would say you be part of us? And that is difficult when you are 22 and 25 with lots of older people, a lot more experience, and all that is really certainly hard. And that's what it is. It's a great content, and it's a very good speech. And this is why I'm doing this a little bit more, because this is level 5 of your so vocal. You have a great voice and the great energy. Now, the only thing to make this vocal just a little bit better, if you would have a little bit of a transition when things didn't go so well, and then your tone would change, and then all of a sudden I was in this wonderful Rotary Club with all this great project, and they went so well. Well, a couple of them didn't go so well, but ultimately I was very successful. The visual part. Well, I am a person who stands when I speak. So when you are so close to the camera, there is no gestures. We don't see your hands. And please don't put your hands on your face when you speak. And that's what happens because we got so comfortable in this whole sitting around in a Zoom world that we can just kind of talk like this, give a speech like this. And so try it out and stand, and then you have a more powerful presentation. But it was a great subject, and I could certainly relate to it. And thank you for your speech.
Thank you, Judith, for your evaluation of Catherine. Thank you. And for our last evaluator, Cassandra. Cassandra, you may begin when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Dorothy King. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, she led by example on this one. I loved the speech. It was very informative about her. She gave a very personal story, one that we could connect with. It was one that you know, you trust, and you loved. It was very engaging. It was one that she gave a lot of examples about Toastmasters. It was one that it was like you said, a spokeswoman for Toastmasters, because she wove her personal stories about how Toastmasters worked for her. And it was one that she talked about the core values of Toastmasters and how you can use Toastmasters in your everyday life and how it works. And let's see here, the lessons about Toastmasters, and she brought Toastmasters to the forefront and as far as leading by example, and she gave statistics about Toastmasters in the beginning and how this man had a vision about how this principle could work for people for communication and leadership. And he brought all of these people to this program, and she showed how in your personal life, if you just use these principles, and it still holds forth to this very day about leadership and Toastmasters. And so DeMarie, Dorothy King shows that with integrity, respect, and service and excellence to this very day, she put together a summit for domestic violence and brought together, a community of people that this hadn't happened in Tennessee. And she put together this summit, and it's still going on to this very day. And for October, we're going to touch again, not just Tennessee, but some things that's going to be happening in California that's going to connect to her summit. So she has done tremendous work through just what Toastmasters have just projected so many things and has helped women and men and families just with the work that she has done for her career and what she wants to do. So kudos to her. And this speech, again, has helped project and do what she wants to do with her career and what she wants. So kudos to her. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much for your evaluation, Cassandra. I really appreciate that. I just want to apologize. I forgot to introduce our general evaluator. I just ran with like a running train. It's like, oh my goodness. I know we're not supposed to apologize, but oh my goodness. But guess what? You're still going to talk. So if you could conclude the meeting, introduce the timer, and get the timer's report, that would be great. And I'll stop talking. I knew I shouldn't have drank that second cup of coffee today. Never drink coffee at night, folks. Never. Our general evaluator. Thank you for saving me.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. Toastmasters of the day. I was wondering, I look at the agenda and it says Toastmasters of the day will introduce the evaluator. You did just the right thing because it doesn't say gender evaluator. So I suppose it's okay. But anyway, all right. So now I'm taking over now just for the technical report. So I would like to introduce welcome to the virtual stage, the timer. And timer is Gilmore. Yeah. Oh yes. Should we have your report, please?
Hi, I was the timer this evening, and this is my report. Vrunda's speech was 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Raghu's speech was 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Pramod's speech, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Catherine's, 7 minutes and 48 seconds. DeMarie, 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Moving on to the table topics, Kanika spoke for 1 minute and 38 seconds. Lydia for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Jayati, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Fatima, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Judith, 1 minute and 35 seconds. And finally, the evaluations. Srinivas spoke for 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Rosemary for 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Jayati, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Judith, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And Cassandra, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. That is my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that everybody are on time. You all speak within your time, except for 1 or 2 seconds extra. So I suppose that will be okay. Do I now give my report on the general meeting, on the whole meeting?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm going to stop talking. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. Now, I came into the room at about, your time is 6:15, but I know that the room normally opens at exactly half an hour before the meeting, because I would normally join at that time. But for today, I joined in at 15 minutes before the meeting. Now, at your time, okay, I'm going to use 6 o'clock your time, 6:30, I was waiting for the SAA to take over and start the meeting, but I was still waiting until 39 minutes. Okay, so you started like 9 minutes off, and sure, you called for the meeting. And it should have been like, because everybody was all there, everybody was already on the meeting. And we could have started on time, but we started a bit late, 9 minutes late. So I hope that, my suggestion for improvement, start on the dot, because we are Toastmasters. We are good timekeeper. We are good time management. And then you went on to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, Ashwin. Ashwin, you started the meeting with making sure that your speakers are in, your evaluators are in. I would like to suggest that we could do this before the meeting started, because everybody were there, we were all there, do that checking before the meeting. Okay, so when the minute on the dot starts the meeting, and then go on and introduce your role players. You don't have to check on the speakers and the speech evaluators anyway. Fine, okay. Now we started a little bit off time, and in fact, we're already off time now. Now, I saw a lot of time taken by some unnecessary things that's happening. Like, okay, now I remember that there was a speaker, like Srinivas, speech evaluator already shared about Rinda. You were checking on your slides and how to go about it. You could have done that before the meeting, same thing, before the meeting. Get everything all sorted out so that when your time to speak on the dot, you just start your speech. Okay. Page 1. Page 2. I remember hearing a speech announcement in a contest. Yeah, it was speech evaluator number 2. Who was that? Was it the you introduced your speaker and the title? You could have just passed it over. Okay, no worries. Just pass it over to the Toastmasters of the day to introduce the speaker, so that you do not take time in introducing and asking back whether you introduce the speech. Oh, Jayanti was asking whether you introduce the speech. No worry. So as a speech evaluator, you just share the purpose of the speech, the purpose of the project, and then give it over to the Toastmasters of the day to introduce the speaker and the title. So that will save time. Yeah, Toastmasters of the day, I appreciate you asking, 1 minute silent for contest speech for Roger, for Distinguished Toastmaster Roger. And then when the third speaker, you also asked for 1 minute silence for us to give feedback and recommendation for the speakers. You did that for number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I appreciate that and I like it, but I am missing something. You didn't give that 1 minute to our first speaker, Rinda. Yeah? Okay, so maybe you could like reverse back and just say, okay, another 1 minute for Rinda after you did for the second and third speaker. Okay, fine. Club level, it's okay. Number 4. That was speech number 2. Speech number 3. Third table topic masters. Okay, we had a few speakers. Well done. I like all the topics that you shared, and then you pick on the guests and the speakers who volunteered. Now I saw there was one when Jayanti volunteered, at the same time Fatima also volunteered. So as a table topic masters, I would recommend you, I would suggest you to pick the first person who does not have a role. Like Jayanti has a role, she's going to be a speech evaluator, fine. fine. I mean, very well done, the Jayanta, that you volunteered. But as a table topic masters, you must be alert. Try to get the first person to speak is the person who doesn't have a role or who's going to speak later on. Because as table topic masters, you're also the event manager, though it's a small segment. Okay, now, very well that you go on to Fatima after that because we had time. Okay, so Fatima had a chance to speak. Okay, after was Judith. Then after that, TMD, you introduce the evaluators. It's okay because you follow the agenda. That's what the agenda says. When actually that was my part, but I was like, okay, fine. You did not do anything wrong because you followed the agenda. It's okay. So, and overall, the meeting is a great meeting. Everybody enjoying themselves, and I see all the smiling faces, and I like it. Well done. And I hope, and I would like to thank you for having me here as a general evaluator. Thank you to Dr. Mary Thomas, who was my first president in Toastmasters decades ago. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me. And that is my humble evaluation of your whole general meeting. Back to you, CMD. Or the president, Catherine.
Yeah. I'm just skipping over to the president.
A round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashwin, for running a very successful meeting. And I want to thank the background team, our role takers. I'd like to thank all our speakers, including myself, pat on the back, for taking the bold step to get these speeches together. I want to thank our evaluators. You have all given your valuable time, and you have given us, I've never had a meeting where we listen to evaluator after evaluator and we just, it gets better and it gets better and it gets better. So thank you so much, Toastmasters and guests. I would like to encourage you guests, if you feel this is the club for you, because I think this is the club for you, take a chance on us. Toastmasters for Professionals is the place where you can grow. We connect with one another. We love one another dearly. We love one another dearly. I repeat, I ask you to join us. If you can take a chance on us, there's our Toastmaster member. He's our member of Toastmaster Vice President of Membership. If you can reach out to just send him a text, send him your email, send him your contact, and we'll get in touch. We would love to have you as part of this club. You're invited to feel at home and enjoy the benefit of being a member of Toastmasters and guests. At this juncture, I would like to adjourn this meeting, and I want